Washington, D.C.
I'm Maureen.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Maggie. And we're all housemates. We've all lived here together for about 2 years on Capitol Hill here in Washington, D.C.
Although I'm a skeptic, I'm definitely excited to go on any adventure you put in front of me.
And I'm your scaredy cat, and I'll go in any haunted attic or basement with my experience in historic houses.
And absolutely I'm excited to go on this sort of adventure, because who knows what we could find. I think it'd be really cool to bring back something to show everybody that there's something out there, even if you can't explain it.
I'm the skeptic of the group, but I want to believe. I definitely feel this stuff could be tested harder by science.
I agree, and I also feel like with my instincts, I'm very perceptive, so I do notice when there's like a presence or something there, so it'll be interesting to see what we find or discover.
And I'm 100% a believer. I've been lucky enough to experience some things, so I think it'll be exciting to bring back some evidence to maybe convince some other people who are not so sure about things.
Well, I thought I had a paranormal experience in my house in grad school in Washington State, but I found out that people are easily influenced by electromagnetic forces, and I found, there was a breaker box right where I felt the most uncomfortable and like I was being watched. So I would chalk that up to actual scientific reasoning.
I can psych myself out, so it depends where I am. If the mood's right, then I'll hear footsteps. I won't be able to justify it. Then I will immediately leap to thinking it's the paranormal. So, yeah.
And I'm actually lucky enough to have had an experience. I was about 7 years old, and I had the opportunity to see a full-fledged apparition, a similar apparition to what my cousin saw the same night. And we ended up finding out later that my great aunt had passed away. So I'm really glad and lucky to have seen something, and to find something else that might convince other people that it's a peaceful experience and not something to be afraid of, I think would be a great opportunity.
The closest I've ever come to investigating the paranormal would be taking a Whaley House tour in San Diego, California with my 3rd grade classroom.
I think that counts. I haven't done too many. Like, I won't go poking around. That's just me. Like, I work with a lot of psychologically charged information and artifacts. That's enough for me to know that that's my paranormal investigation, if you want to call it that.
I think the closest to paranormal investigation that I've ever done is when my cousin Abby and I were playing with a Ouija board. I think I was 5 and I think she was 6. And she asked it whether or not Jeff had a crush on her. And I sat there like this for the whole time as she slowly moved the indicator to yes. So I think that doesn't really count.
Unless we're talking about watching a lot of Ghost Hunters and
Destination Truth.
Yeah. So I guess my views on life after death are the jury's out. I'm not 100% in either direction. I was raised Catholic, but I could see it going either way personally.
Yeah, and I agree with Mo. Like, I don't hold anything as gospel truth, but I do feel like sometimes it can be helpful for people to feel like their loved ones are still there with them. Other than maybe other spirits where you don't know them, it can be a little bit more unnerving.
And I think you have the trifecta for being raised Catholic. All 3 of us were. I think that there is something out there. I've noticed in my own family, even with other friends, there's an empathy there. There's some sort of energy exchanged. Even if you're in a group, there's an experience that happens there. And I feel like there's no reason why that couldn't transfer into something, even after life is over.
As far as communicating with the dead through psychics or mediums, I am very skeptical. I genuinely see that as an opportunity for people to take advantage of someone emotionally. So I think it should be approached with great caution.
All I have to add to that is it's freaky hoo-ha that happens on 900 telephone networks. So I can't see a psychic as being something else. Like, I wish I could, but that's just in my head, the only version I have.
I think it's possible. I'm sure that there's a lot of elaboration that goes on. Like, you shouldn't necessarily ask menial questions, but I do believe that I think that there are some people more sensitive than others. If something goes on in my family, with the women in my family, other people will feel it. And I think there's something there to some sort of shared energy, even if it's not exactly pinpointable.
Although it may not sound like it from this interview, my mind is very open to experiencing something, and I would absolutely love to participate in a project like this. Also because I'm with 2 of my great friends.
Definitely. And I mean, it changed my mind when we had the DVR specials, but then we had the Halloween 24 episode Like, you guys impressed me with that episode on the Buffalo train station. You actually appealed a little bit more to my interests when it came across things like that. And I know a lot of the historic houses that you're visiting, and I haven't had those experiences, but maybe part of me wish I did. So we'll see.
And I'm certainly excited to go on any sort of project like this. I think that there is something out there. You know, every culture throughout history has something that needs to be explained. And I think chasing that truth is a part of the human experience. And why not do it with 2 of your best girlfriends? I think that it would be an absolute blast.
Can we next?
Yeah. So we're signing off here in Washington, D.C. We hope you'll think of us because we're certainly thinking of you guys. Cheers.
Bye.